everyone. This meeting has been advertised in accordance with the Public Meetings Act and NJSA 10:36, with adequate notice of this meeting being provided to the borough's two official newspapers and also published on the borough's website. Amy, will you pull?
Councilman Benjamin.
Here.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilwoman Faustini.
Here.
Councilman Besh.
Here.
Councilman Bullock.
Here.
Council President White.
Here.
Thank you. Can you take us through a review of tonight's agenda?
Yes, this evening, Mr. Mayor, we have two public hearings. One is a release for performance bond posted by Keys Realty, and the other is release of performance bond posted by JSFS Real Estate. There are three matters on for executive session. One's a litigation matter, and the other two are personnel matters. We have approval of council minutes for June 5th. We have a presentation for Field of Honor donation, proclamation for Amateur Radio League, ordinance on for first reading by title that authorizes the acceptance of the deed of dedication. There are 20 resolutions on this evening, 3 matters of correspondence, and payment of bills totaling $310,155.56. Council reports, and we conclude with public comments, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any council comments on tonight's agenda?
Nothing there.
Okay. Amy, everything is in order for the two performance bonds as noted, correct?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Any council comments regarding the two performance bonds?
No.
We have representation for Keys Realty, Public Improvements Block 367 Lot 4 at 613 Delmore Ave.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do we also have representation for JSFS Real Estate, 650 Hadley Road?
You do.
Okay. As this is a public hearing, we'll open it up for public comments regarding those two properties. Seeing none, this is public portion. Gentlemen, those will be on tonight's agenda. You are more than welcome to stay and enjoy the rest of the meeting, but that's not necessary. Can I get a motion for executive session, Resolution 17-243, litigation Verizon Personnel Court Personnel Code Enforcement?
So,
Second.
Motion by Councilman Benjavanga, seconded by Councilman Bullock. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will have executive session tonight. At this point, I'll open up for public comments on agenda items only. Seeing none, close the public portion. At this point, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn tonight's agenda meeting.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Seeing no reason to delay, we'll go right back to the public meeting. Again, this meeting has been advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and JSA 10:4-6, with adequate notice of this meeting also being provided to the borough's two official newspapers and also published on the borough's website. Amy, will you call the roll once more?
Councilman Benjavanga.
Here.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilwoman Faustini.
Here.
Councilman Besh.
Here.
Councilman Bullock.
Here.
Council President White.
Here.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Councilman Benjamin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
dear Lord, please look over this governing body. Please look over all the graduating seniors as they go on to the next step of their life. Please keep in your prayers Reverend Mingle, who is in hospice. He's a chaplain for many, many years, over 40 years here at the borough. So please keep him in your prayers.
Okay, once again, I will open it up for public comments on agenda items only, please. None. I'll close the public portion. Can I get a motion to approve the council minutes of June 5th, 2017 agenda, public and executive?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Council President White, seconded by Councilman Benjavanga. Amy, can you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavanga.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini.
Yes.
Councilman Besh.
Yes.
Councilman Bullock.
Yes.
Council President White.
Yes.
Yes, 6-0.
Thank you. At this point, I will turn the meeting over to Ms. Rhodes, Anna Rhodes. We have a presentation for the Field of Honor that was held earlier this year.
The inaugural Field of Honor in May was a huge success. I received many hugs and comments before and during and after the event. It was breathtaking and very patriotic, and we couldn't have asked for a better area in town. Many wanted to know why we couldn't keep it up until Memorial Day, but we were contacted to take it down on a certain date. That will be taken into consideration for the next time. I am so grateful and thank Mayor Nesh, Borough Council President White, Councilman Wallach, and Councilman Faustini for their support from the very beginning. You understood how much this meant for me to present it in honor of my deceased brother. Thank you so much. In total, the sponsorships, donations, and flags or purchases were $9,226. The sponsorships and donations pretty much paid for the expense of the license, flags, freight, and miscellaneous costs of $4,200. The remaining amount was our proceeds. I'm happy to present a check to Mrs. Ackerman of South Plainfield Social Services and Food Pantry for $5,010.35. In addition, just Saturday night, I was handed a $100 donation, so the total is $5,110.35 raised.
I'm only kidding. You can show this.
Congratulations, and I know just from several large gatherings that we plan and pull off for the borough, that these things don't come easy. So especially as young as you are, and as much as this meant to you, we were glad to help them a little way we could. And as we said at the ceremony, you are now the chairwoman for as long as you want to, and until you find somebody else to take your place. So. But in all seriousness, you did a great job. We couldn't have pulled this off without you, so congratulations. Okay, we also have a proclamation for Amateur Radio Week. And whereas amateur radio operators are celebrating over a century of the miracle of the human voice broadcast over the airways, and whereas amateur radio has continued to provide a bridge between people, societies, and countries by creating friendships and sharing of ideas, and whereas amateur radio operators have also provided countless hours of community services, both in emergencies and to other local organizations throughout these decades, whereas amateur radio services are provided wholly uncompensated, whereas the state also recognizes the services of amateur radio people, also provides to our many emergency response organizations, including the Borough of South Plainfield, and whereas these same individuals have further demonstrated their value in public assistance by providing free radio communications for local parades, bike-a-thons, fairs, and other charitable public events, whereas amateur radio provided undisputed relevance to the modern work in 2005 by providing emergency communications when other systems failed in the devastation of Hurricane Katrina and Rita in the USA, and tsunamis, catastrophes overseas. And whereas the American Radio Relay League, ARRL, is the leading organization for amateur radio in the USA and will be conducting its annual Field Day exercises, which will take place on June 24th and 25th, 2017, which is a 24-hour emergency preparedness exercise and demonstration of the radio amateur's skills and readiness to provide self-supporting communications without further infrastructure being required. Now therefore be proclaimed that I am at the Mayor of the Borough of South Plainfield, hereby declare the week of June 19th, 2017 through June 25th, 2017 as Amateur Radio Week in the Borough of South Plainfield, and call upon all borough residents to extend their appreciation and respect to our amateur radio operators. And Marv, I know you've got some folks here from the radio club here. Can you join me up front for the proclamation, and then I'll turn the program over to you.
Yes.
Saying this is normally the weather you have for this, right? Exactly.
I would like to
Field
introduce
day
Steve
weather.
Oswald, and he's our section manager for Northern New Jersey for the American Radio Relay League, here to welcome and appreciate the award.
You're married. You're married to a radio. I'm not with you.
I am.
Married.
Okay, all right.
Get us going.
If you could just come in a little bit and.
Yeah,
you move
toward the
over.
front.
The
I
guy-
can't-
Yeah, the tall
He's
one,
hiding.
yeah.
He doesn't come out in the rain anymore.
Meet him
Can't get the guy behind you.
I know, tell Wayne,
Wayne, you can
Larry,
come
Wayne,
forward.
You gotta get in the picture.
I can't get you, okay.
There, much better. You wanted to hide, I could tell. Ain't gonna happen. Take two without. Sure. Okay, thank you.
I'll turn it over to you. You guys want to
Mayor, Mr. Mayor, on behalf of the radio amateurs of South Plainfield, the American Radio Relay League, members of the Borough Council of South Plainfield, we heartily appreciate the recognition given to the radio amateurs who offer our time and expertise in providing services to the community and education to our flock. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you.
Saturday.
I just know.
Well, you can introduce him to
Yes,
the greater audience.
to the audience, this is our representative from the American Radio Relay League in Hartford, Connecticut. This is Steve Ostrov. He is our section manager for Northern New Jersey for American Radio Relay League activities. And he's joining us to receive the award of the proclamation. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
And it is an honor to be here and to have the recognition for amateur radio, and whatever we can do for the community is what we want to do. So we're there.
Well, I lost a bedroom as a kid from amateur radio, so.
Make sure to come by Saturday.
All are welcome on Saturday and
Thank
Sunday.
you so much.
Thank you, guys. You're welcome. And I wasn't kidding when I said that. I really did lose a bedroom to amateur radio. My father's also in the club. He couldn't be here tonight. But I do encourage all the residents, anybody, and the council members here to go down and see the field day on Friday or Saturday into Sunday. And like the administrator said, often the weather is not the most perfect weather. But these guys are there overnight, and just as the proclamation indicated, they're not necessarily up there with equipment to act and pull this off. Very minimal equipment and some very ingenious methods to string wires into the trees and to set the pulley system. It's quite interesting, and you'll learn a lot. If you can just stop down there for even a half an hour.
Where is it?
It's at Spring Lake Park. Spring Lake Park. I'm sure it'll be. There's coverage in the newspapers. We'll have it on the borough website with additional detail. I forget how many countries you guys reached last year. That was pretty impressive. So, I don't know if you have it off the top of your head, but so they're not out there just sitting around camping. They're doing work, and like it was mentioned, this is in preparation for if we had a disaster, and we've had some in the past, where the borough and other agencies really rely on amateur radio. So, thank you for your passion and everything that you do, and standing ready to help support the borough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this point, we'll introduce ordinance 2008.
An ordinance of the Borough Council of the Borough of South Plainfield, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acceptance of a deed of dedication for the property designated as Block 282, Lot 51.02 on the Borough of South Plainfield tax map.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for introduction on ordinance 2008? So moved. Motion by Council President White, seconded by Councilman Wallach. Amy, can you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavenda?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fostini? Yes. Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman Wallach?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
And the public hearing and final adoption for ordinance 2080 is set for July 10th, 2017, approximately 7 p.m. Can I get a motion for Resolution 17-244 to 17-263?
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Faustini, seconded by Council President White. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Benjavenga?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Okay, we have 3 items of correspondence. Environmental Commission minutes, April 12, 2017. Business Economic Development Advisory Group minutes of March 1st, 2017. The Zoning Board of Adjustments, April 18th and May 2nd minutes. Amy, can you call the roll?
I'm sorry, was there a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. There was not. I was just testing. Can I get the motion for correspondence?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Council President White, seconded by Councilman Benjamin. Amy, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Councilman Benjavenga?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. On payment of the bills for $310,155.56, can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Councilman Wallach, seconded by Council President White. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Benjavenga?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Rizzo.
Progress, man.
Mr. Cohen.
Yes, ma'am, just a couple items. One, I just wanted to mention that Mr. Miller, this afternoon, I received a call, and then he received an email from Middlesex County that there'll be a pre-construction meeting next week for the traffic light at Woodland Avenue and Oak Tree Road in that location. So I know the county a couple months ago had mentioned that being kind of the timeframe, so, you know, at least based upon, you know, what they had originally had conveyed to us in a previous meeting, that, you know, it seems to be at least online for, it's a pre-construction meeting, so obviously they awarded a contract and everything else. So, second, I just want to mention, and I know some of you know, that the work that's taking place over on Lane Avenue is part of Middlesex Water Company. I know that they've gone some of the areas over off of Plainfield, and that's part of their Renew project, and so that should be continuing throughout the summer. I know, Mayor, I think I've had conversations with you and as well as with Council President White, Councilman Besh, Councilman Benjavenga over the road over on New Brunswick Avenue by the railroad tracks. And it's become, and I know Len's office has called, it's become really a hazard. People having trouble transversing or tracks there. I know Gary had mentioned to me if the county could get in there and fix it, they would have. They've got to say, what is it, like 50 feet from the
We have to stay 50
tracks?
feet from each side of the tracks because of a liability issue with the railroad.
So, you know, I know everybody here has kind of reached out to us and tried to get, so, you know, I got a call last week from a couple of residents on Cherry Street, so, you know, I guess maybe Mayor will have some type of additional letter or something to go out by the council, maybe a resolution, but we've, you know, I think everybody's trying to remedy that situation. It's just,
Maybe you can take a little video of somebody going over that thing and see how much damage it did. So that is, you know, maybe.
I mean, the traffic backs up past the market.
To just drive over to see how,
It's
so bad that it's like hitting a wall.
It's a problem. And I just want to congratulate the 2017 graduates. Sure didn't have one. Oh my, I finally graduated. And I don't know if anybody's going to speak about it, but I know John called me earlier today about letters regarding the recycling. I thought they would have hit today. I don't know if anybody received one. If not, you'll be I believe you'll be receiving them tomorrow. They were brought over on Thursday or Friday to the post office, and they were going to make deliveries. And with that, Robert.
Yeah, and just on that, I know on the letter that's gone out, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we were promoting is my waste app. So again, not that we expect a lot of changes in the future, but when you do have cancellations and everything like that, almost everybody's got these nowadays. So including the kids. So why not? It's a free app. It's very simple. I think some of the members of the governing body downloaded it after this and walked through. It's very simple to walk through. You put your address in there. It's really all it is. And it'll give you the schedule, your pickup schedule. You can set reminders, multiple reminders if you want, at various time frames. And then really also gives you everything that's going on down in the recycling center itself. So if you're like me and you forget when paint recycling day is or anything else like that, it's there. So it's 2017. Look, we're still going to rely on mailing everything to various houses. I think that was clearly more evident today than it was like 2 weeks ago. But this is really something everybody should use. So again, it's the My Waste app. Use it. It's something that Alice brought on board a couple of years ago, and we'll continue to push it. So I know it's been in the newspapers again. Any articles that you guys are doing, 3 of them. Yeah, I know there's been coverage in here, but and look, there's no guarantee you're going to get everybody with a mailing either. But tell it to your friends, family, relatives. Right? So thank you, Mr. Cohen. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Mr. Miller.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. As an update on the culvert that failed over by the Baptist Church on Hamilton, we've replaced the box culvert that ran essentially the length of the property, and the price that's in for that is about $22,000. The structure that's actually underneath the roadway, a portion of the road, the curb, and the sidewalk, and there's a large concrete slab on the top of it, is starting to fail and needs to be repaired. It needs a major repair also. That structure was constructed many years ago, and it's kind of certainly not up to present day standards. So I have a cost estimate to repair that of about $20,000, and we need to move ahead with that also as an emergency because it is in the travel lane over there. And I'm going to get the contractor to get going on that as soon as possible. I think he can get out there this week. So that's the update on that. The road projects, we awarded the 2 road projects tonight. One is a resurfacing project. The prices came in probably about $60,000 under the estimate for that project. We also awarded the DOT road project for Lane and Manning. And that project came in significantly below the cost estimate, a good probably $150,000 under the cost estimate. So we're going to be starting up those jobs as soon as we can. The DOT one takes a little longer. We have to get concurrence from DOT. But other than that, we're going to start preparing the contracts and start the road projects for this summer.
Excellent.
With that progress.
Okay, Mayor, and I just wanted to mention after Mr. Miller spoke that because they came in so far under, I had a conference call with bond counsel late last week to see how we wanted to structure this culvert collapse and whether or not we could amend the existing road ordinance to include that versus, we're going to have to do an emergency resolution similar to what we did with the pool, but there are 2 different ways of possibly doing this. Could we amend that existing ordinance that was passed to include this? So I spoke to bond counsel last week. They said that it could. So what we were going to do is we were going to handle this. You'll have an emergency resolution on at the next meeting, but you're going to see an amendment to the road ordinance, and I think we may even add a couple of roads to that original ordinance, being that the prices came in so much lower, and that'll be on for the meeting of July 10th. With I guess it would be an adoption on the meeting of the 31st.
Excellent. Anything else? No.
That's Mr. Mayor's progress.
I'm sorry. I just,
Bueller. Ms. Antoni.
Progress, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Dean.
Yes, Mayor. Yeah, thanks for touching base on the whole environmental recycling. I was in contact with Glenn and Alice once all these issues started arising. I saw stuff on Facebook and whatnot. Alice obviously said that the biggest confusion was the changing of the schedule. People, again, just didn't really get it. Everybody, I know we posted it on social media, all the papers, online papers. I think every council person had it on their Facebook pages as well. Not everybody was reading it and getting it. The other thing was, which I didn't know all about plastics and everything like that, was I guess where they only collect ones and twos. I didn't even know there was grades in plastics. So I just got a learning experience on that. She said that it's always been the ones and twos.
Yeah.
The 3s through 7s were still going to the landfill, so this wasn't really a change that, just took place this year, I guess. But Solterra's asking that you don't put the 3s and 7s in, just to cut down on the amount of garbage that they're actually dumping. So I guess some of the residents were asking about the 3s through 7s, that it's gonna increase the volume in their normal trash cans. It's not that it can't go in the recycling
Right.
can still, it's just that it's still, regardless, it's gonna go to the landfills one way or another.
And I think there are ways to recycle those, but it's just that,
Yeah, she said that there's like,
I don't know if anybody's gonna go through that effort, but you
yeah,
could bring.
like your dry cleaning plastics, like, I think she said it's like a number 5 or something, you would take that to like, ShopRite or something. They have like recycling there for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
What else was there? So I couldn't print this out today, I was having computer problems.
I think yogurt.
I did follow Solterra around on that Saturday. I was actually driving around looking at some jobs, and I saw that they did have trucks in, and I kind of like followed them around for about an hour or so. I didn't notice them doing anything wrong as far as, tossing cans or making a mess or anything like that. But I did notice that as they went through some of the streets, then some residents did come back out and put their recyclables out there. So I think that was part of the Monday's phone calls that she had got, that, they came through and then they didn't pick up theirs. So I did contact Frank from Solterra, and I asked him if he could give me a breakdown of what he did. So on June 8th, they had 5 trucks to service the area. June 9th, there was 3 trucks to service the entire area. He said each of those days there was 2 supervisors monitoring the progress and maintaining communication with Alice to go through any issues that were coming into her office or into Borough Hall in general. June 2nd and 3rd, prior to the day change, they went out and they sent out 1,300 flyers to residents to make them aware of the new schedule. I'm not really sure. 1,300 flyers isn't.
Yeah, I know they were putting them on various containers.
Yeah. On June 10th, which was that Saturday, they had 2 trucks going through the entire town to take any recycling that may have been put out late. And then again, on the 13th, they had another truck dispatched to basically go through a list that Alice had sent him to, check back on. And, he said he appreciates the opportunity to continue to do service for the borough. And, obviously, if there's any further issues, they're there to work on them and make sure everything's straight. I just want to let everyone know that the next collection will be the Thursday, 22nd, and then Friday the 23rd. But hopefully everybody will get this flyer that goes out within the next day or so, and the amount of calls will dwindle down.
Yeah, I think so. I think, definitely people are becoming aware of it, not quite the way that we would have liked them to. But also a lot of it has to do with, I guess, 2 things. One, people just kind of react, and if we're neighbors and you put something out, I don't even think about it, I just don't put mine out, right? So if you have one neighbor that gets it right, maybe you had the whole street that got it right. If you have one neighbor that got it wrong or didn't know, the whole street was probably wrong. And then, if you had it out on both days, you probably didn't know what to do. So that happens. But yeah, I guess if we could just say, as they, hopefully again, the newspapers, I'm sure will have it out again. We've got it out on the borough Facebook and all that stuff. We'll continue to put that out there again. We'll push the app. And if there's anything that they can do, just as knowing that people are going to, probably spur for a little bit, until they get used to that. We're all creatures of habit, right? So, we're just used to it. If your pickup was on a Tuesday, that's when it is, and you're just kind of used to that. So, hopefully we get it. But if there's anything that they can do to kind of, take a look around and just see if there's people leaving stuff out, we can get
And Daly made the map, right, Glenn?
Yeah, believe it or not, that printing map that everybody's looking at was in. As a matter of fact, we have to add actually your husband to this story. Because on Friday, we got a call from, I guess we can no longer, and I think somebody's done, we can no longer go to our local post office and have this delivered. It's actually done out of Rawway. So the call came through that there was some type of additional $5 fee. And for $5, they weren't going to send out all of these mailers. And just so happened Tom Daly was working, he was over at Rawway, and he pulled in, obviously he wasn't driving the car, he was driving like, I think a roll-off. And the police were able to walk him in and he paid $5. So not only did she make the map, but her husband actually paid the $5 bill that allowed the,
Have we reimbursed them?
she wasn't into that. So well, maybe petty cash tomorrow. So, but that's what happened late Friday afternoon. I think we ended up finding out that that Rawway hadn't sent out the mailers yet, hadn't been delivered. They had to be brought in, I guess, sorted in route order, I guess it is. And they were sitting there, they weren't being delivered because it was something like a $5 additional fee that we didn't have. So.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah, I guess they call it government, right?
Yeah.
John, just to be clear, because I just want to make sure, for the recyclings 3 through 8 that aren't going to be recycling, we can put them into the recycling bins. There's never going to be a time when they say, we're rejecting this. It's all, it can be there forever. There's no.
From what she.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I don't know if you say that.
Well, I just want.
Forever's pretty long.
I don't think they're encouraging you to do that, but again, kind of like I said, people are creatures.
What they said is, I guess if the market ever changes too, where some of these other plastics may become useful, that, then they may want them, but right now, there's nobody requesting this type of plastic.
For everybody who's trying to figure out what we're talking about, on the bottom of every plastic container is a number with arrows, and it'll say that this one says 1. Most of the things over 2 are your yogurt containers or your storage containers, stuff like that. But most of it's 1 and 2. And that's where you can find it.
But the police are not going to come if you put a 3 or 4 in there. Right, Chief? I don't think so.
You sure, Chief?
Maybe the recycling police, but not something like that. Anything else?
That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Fausti.
Today it was very hot out, and the pool is open this week, starting its regular hours. Last week it was open on a much shorter schedule, just after school. So it opens at 12 every day, and then 10 a.m. on the weekends till, I believe, 8 p.m. And the membership is up about 10% so far this year, which is great. There's been a lot of positive feedback about all the improvements that we have done so far over there. The other rec programs are doing well. Our Safety Town registration is up. There's 21 kids in the first session, last we checked. And the other programs are all starting, doing well. Summer Park starts tomorrow. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but for kids up to, I believe it is 6th grade, they have a summer program at each elementary school that you go sign up for, and the kids can attend. It's kind of like a camp. They're occupied during the day. They do close for lunch. Those hours are 8:30 to 3:30, but that begins tomorrow for anybody who's interested in that. Let's see. There is some cultural arts. I'll let Suzanne talk about that in a few. And Willow Park, right behind us, in conjunction with the library, will be putting in some new swings towards the end of the month. And I think that's it for now. So progress.
Thank you. Councilman Benjamin.
Thank you, Mayor. Just going back to the road bids, one of the things that we always have strived to do here is to make sure that we get the best service for the least amount of money. It shows it. Gary, I'm just going to bring you into the loop here. Over the past few years, you talked about how the county paved all these roads for the town. One of the reasons why we got away from that was because we were getting more competitive bids when it came to a price per ton. And I believe, Glenn, what's the cost of the asphalt now?
It would depend on the project, Rob.
Yeah, last year was about $79 a ton from the county. But
Well, that's not the ton price, that's the laid price. You know what I mean? That's labor, everything. So.
Yes. And that's when it's apples to apples. In these bids, we got $69 to $70 a ton. So we are just getting very competitive bids. It's the same, that's the layout and everything like that. Not to know what the different cost of that. But, it just goes to show that, you look every which way. And we want to fit it out here. And then if it came in, obviously, more than the county, we would look that way. But specifically the DOT project, we would have to go with the bid. But we got very good rates, which we're not seeing anywhere else in the state. So it's very, very good here. And we're able to do a lot more. putting this all together and working with everybody else.
Thank you. Councilman Ness.
Well, I'd like to thank Len, Glenn, and Rob for probably reporting on everything that I had here to talk about.
Efficiency.
It made my job a little easier. Again, I'm happy to see that the projects are going to be starting to go ahead. As a matter of fact, I received that email about the pre-construction meeting for the light at Woodland and Oak Tree. I believe it's next, I think it's the 27th. I also received plans from T&M for Lane Avenue. They're going to be impacting Plainfield, not very much, like maybe 5 feet or something like that. And I got a memo from our engineering department that there's no issues with that. So that should go smoothly when they come in for a road opening permit. It should go right along. Just one more thing about the recycling. I know that Alice put that on she put a recording on the hotline also.
Good.
So,
Maybe you should pull one on DPW too.
and with that.
Where'd you get all of those calls? No, I'm just kidding. Simmer down, Melanie. Just kidding.
With that, that's,
Thank you, sir.
like I said, they touched on everything that I had, so we're good.
I know how you feel. Councilman Wolbert.
All right, the wet down and the truck dedication is this week finally. So I'm gonna take the time out and read exactly what's going on, because I don't think people are aware. I'm not sure if it's been advertised enough, but it looks like it's gonna be a really lot of fun. So, for the fire departments who are coming to get judgment will start at 8:30 and will end at 11 a.m. The location will be held at 90 Maple Avenue, South Plainfield Senior Center. Truck 7 dedication will be held at 11:30 at 123 Maple Avenue, South Plainfield Fire Headquarters. The fire department motorcade will start at 11:30 and will parade around town and will end at the South Plainfield Middle School, High School grounds. I don't want my glasses today. To kick off the wet down. Okay, here's the fun part. At 12, we'll start all the action. There will be T-shirts, pint glasses, plastic mugs for sale to all guests. Outback Steakhouse will be cooking food. 3-piece nugget will be performing, and also Flashover Entertainment New Jersey DJ service will be playing music all day long. There will be rides for the kids. Okay, there'll be 50/50 tickets for sale. Also raffle tickets for sale. They'll be raffling off 2 toolboxes that will have been donated by Napa Auto Parts at 12 to 3 p.m. There'll be a water fight between the different fire companies from all over the area all day long. Registration for firefighters, the tug of war will close at 2 p.m. and 2:30, and we'll start the competition to win a trophy and see which fire department has the best team. At 3:30, we'll be announcing the trophies for the fire department who are competing against each other and the best fire apparatus. Following that, we'll be calling for 50/50 tickets in the raffle for the toolboxes. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very memorable event that I'm looking forward to go, and hope everybody will with that progress.
Thank you, Council President White.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just one quick item. I don't know if everyone's aware, but Pino's Palette has opened up the Sip and Paint location in former 1-800-Flowers site next to Subway over in Oak Park Commons. So we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting and grand opening on June 23rd. Starts at 7, and they'll have their actual normal course of events for painting function after that. So definitely a lot of fun. Some of us had an opportunity to participate not too long ago, last week I think it was, and our competitive juices came out. And
did you say there's going to be another painting?
I think so. They said that you can't come. So you asked
I'm offended on that comment, and I had that hanging up in my living room. So.
No, it was a lot of fun. So I definitely encourage you to go down and participate. It's 2 hours, but it went by like that once you get started.
They can teach anyone to paint, but truth be known, I was a couple minutes late, so I was fine. And I was sitting next to the council president, so I had to learn from him, and that explains my painting.
Thank you, Mayor. And with that, progress.
Thank you. At this point, open up for public comments. Suzanne.
Suzanne Lepore, Bullard Place. I'm here on behalf of the South Plainfield Cultural Arts Commission. This Wednesday, we're sponsoring a teen dance social at the senior center. We're partnering with a group called Races, and their purpose is to introduce Hispanic dances to the community. We're starting with the teens, but it'll eventually become, a wider range of ages. And if any one of you remember from the talent show, they were our closing act. We had a group of them that they were performing one of the dances that comes from Colombia. So that will be part of the dance social. And so it starts at 7 p.m. and it's from 7 to 10 with light refreshments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Boyle.
Debbie Boyle, Van Fleet. I'd like to thank Mayor Nash and Council President White for coming out and to work at project graduation until the end of the evening.
I'd like to thank you for reducing the hours from 5 a.m. to 3:30.
It went to 3:30 due to lack of funding.
Whatever it takes.
But thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming out and helping. And thank you to Mayor and Council for attending the graduations, as you are part of the community. Hannah Rhodes, amazing job. And thank you to your mom and dad and brother also for bringing this to South Plainfield. A press release went out for the parade, our Labor Day parade. The theme this year is Happy 60th Birthday to the South Plainfield Parade. Flyers went home with the students last week, encouraging all youth organizations to participate with floats. You can decorate any way you want for a birthday celebration. We're also looking for parade marshals that would walk the line of the parade from the beginning to the end. We are also asking for nominations for Grand Marshal, but that won't be until July 7th. That'll be July 7th through, I believe it's August 4th. And then the committee will review those. The nominations can be sent in to here to Borough Hall to my attention. We also put out that we're looking for firework proposals that we do every year. We usually get 3 firework proposals. I've contacted all the surrounding towns to see how they operate, and they do the same thing. They ask for a proposal with details, length of time, what happens if it rains, what is there a charge, and how is the charge detailed. And National Night Out will be August 1st, with more details to follow. It'll be the same behind the library from 6 to 9 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I need to ask you about that. The police also.
I'm up here for Hannah.
I'll talk now.
She's all talked out. We just wanted to also thank Debbie Boyle and the Boyle Memorial Foundation for saving ourselves with the treasury. And the other option was to open our own, and I've heard that's a nightmare. So, and also the Public Works. Christina, is that your stuff? Yes. She was phenomenal. I emailed her and boom, she had public service, everything taken care of. So thank you, and please thank her for us.
I will, thank you.
Because it was really, we didn't know what to do, but she really pulled in for us. So that's it.
Good, glad to hear.
Great job.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public portion. We are going into executive session. You are more than welcome to